Hey heroes, this is your resident string player Darian.
This is Angela, your certified brass player.
And you're listening to Hero Talk, the show where we talk about real life
and real women in music.
I love the ending.
It's cute. Ding. Is that hard to play?
Nah, not really.
What note is that?
High E?
Ding. Do you have perfect pitch?
No, I just remember looking at the music.
Oh, heard. Yeah, that's true, because we recorded this. Darian, we just had our first week. Your first week of doctoral school.
I know.
Year,
Yeah, well, we're recording this after finishing, our first week of school.
Yeah.
We're both doctoral students at Florida State.
Go Knowles. We just won the game yesterday. Let's go.
Did we really?
Good. I didn't watch it, but I had to know the score.
Oh, I don't even keep up.
You don't keep up.
No.
You're a Knowles now. I told you we're going to a game.
I've been here for my whole master's and...
Yeah, but now we're friends, so it's going to happen.
And it's I like football. I just don't keep up with college sports.
Yeah.
And I feel like I shouldn't tell people that, since I go to Florida
I feel like
State.
this is I'm not trying to stereotype musicians at all, but I'm going to by saying that I feel like a lot of musicians don't really pay attention too much to sports. Not a lot of my friends like sports that are like musicians, but I think it's okay. You don't have to like sports, but
No, I like sports. I'm not necessarily good at them, but
yeah, fair. I'm not either.
I would also say partially is my social anxiety is wow, a lot of people, big crowd, not necessarily sure I want to put myself in a sports event. I can do it, but it also brings back memories from high school football, and you have all the cliques and you're watching the football game. I know college football is probably nothing like that.
I mean, I've always been in marching band, so I've always had the marching band clique, and I always had a good time. So sitting in the student stands, I think I've done it once, on an actual my home field, but I don't remember there are no memories of sitting in student stands and at all.
I think I went to 2 football games in high school, and as a string player and such a dork, I was I'm done.
Yeah, I guess I would be the same way. My family was not into sports at all, and I'm only in it because of marching band.
Oh, my family loves sports. Really? I mean, I'm the only one in the family that's a musician.
Little black sheep over there.
Oh yeah, my parents are where the hell did you get this musical ability?
And no one in your family plays?
No, none.
No one.
Mm-mm. Yeah, my dad was baseball. My mom was a volleyball player. My sister was a dancer and volleyball player as well. And I was I'm gonna play violin.
Why did you pick the violin?
Well, I started on piano in kindergarten and I was good at it.
Did they make you do that or?
No, I was just kind of yeah, I'll do it. Ended up being good at it. I didn't necessarily love it, but then in 5th grade, we had this string demonstration from the middle school orchestra director, and I was that looks so much cooler than piano.
Oh. Play the fiddle. I'm just kidding.
And I actually wanted to play cello.
Oh.
But my mom was that's too big for the car.
A little bit.
And I was okay, what other clef do I know how to read? And I went, okay, treble clef, violin it is.
Nice. Not viola. Well, I guess that's not.
Yeah, I didn't play alto clef.
Yeah.
And violas are gonna hate me. I wasn't the biggest fan as a kid. I was yeah.
Yeah, why is that hated on? Why is it? What's the hate from?
They're just kind of weird.
I mean, so are we.
No, I
Please.
mean, I think it's just the stereotype of it's almost they're the mutt instrument, they look like a violin, a little bigger, but they also have the cello strings. Dang. And they read alto clef.
Oh, God.
It's they just kind of make their own space in the orchestra. And viola jokes are great. And I know one of my best friends is a violist, and he was I kind of like them, the viola jokes.
Aw, makes them feel included.
Yeah. I actually have a good joke about that where it's a string quartet, what makes up a string quartet. And I was a cellist, a really good violinist, a not so good violinist, and a violinist that plays viola now.
Oh my God.
And I was that's funny. Not necessarily true, especially when you get up into more professional,
Yeah.
like quartets. But I've definitely played in some quartets where violinists are now violists.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, every time I hear y'all talk about like a gig and you're like, oh, I'd play the viola. It's like, I'm like, oh, I have to play the viola. It's like, oh, I can do this, but I'd rather not.
Probably because they don't want to read alto clef.
Oh, that's fair.
Because we're so used to reading treble clef. And then personally, like my professor is like, oh, you should pick up viola because you can. Why not? And then my brain goes, first off, I don't want to buy one. Second off, I don't want to practice that. Yeah. I'm like, I already have so much stuff to practice. Yeah. And third, I'm like, I don't want to.
Do they get gigs?
It's easier to get gigs if you play both.
Who's the best violist in your opinion?
Ever?
Yeah.
There's this one violist that I follow. It's like in the Berlin Phil, and she's like, has an amazing tone. I could say
You gotta do some research.
I could say one of my best friends. He's an awesome violist.
Let's go. Shout out to RJ.
Yeah, he was a grad student when I was in my undergrad at Belmont University. Mm-hmm. We actually did a festival in like Austria. We were both there at the same time. We had a good old time. He was a great violist. We played in a quartet together too. So if RJ, if you're listening, I love you and I still miss you.
Aw, shout out to RJ.
No, I was trying to convince him to come to FSU for his artist diploma because he was actually in China for some like Juilliard school that they started out there. And he was auditioning for his arts diploma. I was like pushing FSU really hard. I was like, come play with me again.
Oh, no. I'll push FSU. No, just kidding. All right. So, first week, anything crazy happened?
Yeah. Let's come back after our little segue.
Yeah.
It was good. How was yours?
I'm about to describe every emotion ever. Crazy. Happy.
Busy.
Excited. Busy. It was all the above, honestly. Every day was a different adventure of doctoral school, grad school.
No, I know. I actually felt like very, not necessarily overwhelmed, but I felt like my brain was always going. Like I actually slept like shit like the whole week.
Oh no.
Because I would go to sleep thinking about everything that I needed to get in order. Or we have like the hero class, you know, and I had to like talk to a bunch of other classes to promote hero. And I was like going to bed thinking about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we had our first hero class, though. It went well. Darian led the class like a pro. She sounded great.
I'm glad that you think so, because I don't know if I remember it that way.
You don't remember it? No. No, you had a PowerPoint. You weren't just reading off a script. You were very personable.
I was trying to be. I'm trying to like make sure no one drops the class.
I don't think anyone did they?
No, we actually gained a person.
Let's go. That's what we want.
I'm really excited about it. I'm just trying to be as organized as possible on such like a broad subject, because the class is like an entrepreneurial class, and this whole class is centered around Hero, our nonprofit, and we have people coming in to take the class who want essentially firsthand experience and working for a nonprofit, practicing entrepreneurial skills. And so it's kind of wide and open-ended because I wanted people to join the class and join the project before we put like specific dates and think about what our next project is, like what our next goals are, which is kind of what we're doing this coming Monday. Oh yeah. Now that we've had like our welcome to Hero kind of orientation.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so heartwarming that these, students came out, and one of them is Miranda's boyfriend. And I'm like, oh,
he's so cute. He's adorable.
And I don't know, just having them like actually engaged, and you would ask them a question and they'd be like, yeah, I have ideas. And then like, I thought it was going to be like, oh, no one's gonna have ideas right now. But then they're like, no, we all have ideas and want to share them. I'm like, let's go. This is enlightening. It's like very heartwarming and a good change for the future.
I'm excited because I was like, the more people helping, the better it'll be for all of us.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I know Joan, I was like, I'm looking at their Instagram and I was like, she'd be great to help me with social media because I hate social media.
We need an influencer.
I know. And I was like, I even texted her. I was like, are you kind of interested in helping me run social media, being like my point person? And she was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, great. Essentially, we have like a team of 10 now.
10. That's great.
Because there's the 5 of us and the directors and then 5 of the people who took the class.
This would be great.
Yeah, that was like the whole point, was to keep it small.
One thing that I really appreciate about like any first week in a middle music school is just like the flexibility that you see everyone have. It goes from these students, of course, all the way up to administrative staff that might have never played an instrument in their life, but they're like all about this kind of musical, flexible life. And it's so awesome and inviting. And because I work in the School of Music office, the grad office, and I felt so bad for my boss because I was like, I don't have my student scheduled. I don't like have my full schedule and then like the hero stuff and then some other things. I'm like, I'm trying to work out a work schedule. And she's like, yeah, just get it to me by the end of the week. And if we start the actual schedule on Monday, that's fine. And I'm like, but I feel so bad because sometimes I'm like not there at all. And then, I don't know, just like her being flexible. And then I guess we're just kind of used to being more flexible than other, I don't know, careers.
Well, I think we realize it's like there's so many moving parts. Like there's rehearsal schedules, there's lesson schedules, there's class schedules, work schedule. I mean, kind of have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know, like, because we're both teaching assistants and GAs or whatever, whichever name you rather call us. And I was like, am I coaching a chamber group? I have no idea. Am I teaching private lessons? I don't know. But
what are you doing?
I don't know yet.
Don't know
no one's told me.
Love that. That's funny.
So I don't know what my teaching assistant like role is yet, but
we gotta figure it out. It's only a week too. We got this.
I know, but at least I scheduled, my recital.
I saw that, yes.
Everyone's excited about it, which is great.
Yeah.
And I snagged a singer actually last night to sing in the recital.
Let's go.
Shout out to Audra.
Recital planning and prepping, especially for chamber ensemble, is stressful. Having to work around, I mean, as you know, like so many different musicians' schedules. It's just, when can we meet? I don't know, 8 a.m. probably, but who wants to actually get up at 8 a.m.? We had a brass quintet rehearsal at 8 a.m. this past week.
That's too much noise in the morning.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. But like all of us were like, yeah, we like do warm-ups, whatever, at 7, 8. But like actually getting together for rehearsal at 8 a.m. is sometimes the most it's just like mind-numbing sometimes. You're like, okay, I need to pay attention full out. And you need to be, prepared and warmed up before the brass quintet rehearsal too. It's like, dang.
Well, I'm such a night owl. I'd rather do like the late rehearsals. But then other people are like, oh God, no.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a night owl.
No, I'm such a night. I stayed up late last night, literally working on hero stuff because I'm like, I had like a migraine like all day and it was so unproductive. And then at like midnight, I'm like, I got energy.
Oh my gosh. I was snoozing at midnight. Gosh.
Back to like the hero class and all that. I'm so glad the first class is over because it feels like I'm kind of like ready. And I think especially after this coming Monday, I'm going to feel like, okay, we got game plan, things are starting. Now everyone kind of knows like what they want to do. And then I don't feel like, come on, like getting everyone excited. And it's like, because I feel like that's what I'm like stressed about doing is trying to get like people interested.
Yeah.
And funny story, I don't think I even told you about this yet. I talked to the entrepreneurship class, which is like the broad entrepreneurship class. Yeah. It was led by Dr. Jones, the assistant dean, who's also our mentor for Hero, last semester. And I was in that class. That's where actually Hero was born, was when I was like trying to think about entrepreneurial ideas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I actually did it. But that's just, segue a little bit, but
history of Hero.
Yes. Now the new harp professor is leading it, and he wanted me to speak to the class and tell them about the Hero class and to see if anyone wanted to sign up during the drop ad period where registration's still open. And I show up to this class. First off, I was already flustered because it wasn't in the same class as last semester, the same classroom.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh crap, I didn't even think that this might have moved.
Oh no, Darian.
So I was like rushing to get there. I did not even, for some reason my brain didn't even consider that they would have switched classrooms. I don't know why, I just assumed.
Stuck him last year, that's funny.
But I found the classroom and then I get there, I was like, hi, I'm Darian, like Dr. Jones wanted me to speak to the class. And she was like, what? I was like, did he not tell you? She's like, no. I was like, damn it.
Oh no.
So then she was like, I guess you can speak at the beginning. And I was like, all right, I'll just try to get it out of your way, so you can get, cause she didn't plan for it. I didn't want to like take up her class time.
Oh man.
And then I was like, I kind of need your computer for like the presentation. And so then I'm trying to like set it up quickly. I'm starting to get like flustered. I had like this blazer on. I'm like, I gotta take it off. I'm starting to sweat.
Oh no.
And there's like all these people looking at me because it's like a decently sized class and I know like no one in it. I mean, I think I recognized like one violinist. I was like, oh crap, this is not a good way to represent myself. But it gets worse. Okay, so I give the presentation and I just didn't feel like it flowed very well. I was like very caught off guard. I was a little nervous. And I send her on like the sign up sheet so we can get like your emails to like send out like updates and events that are coming up and such. And when I'm done, I'm like, I finished like 10 minutes and I walk out and I was like, oh crap, I forgot my sign-up sheet. So I had to walk back in and get it. It gets worse. And then I leave and I was like, I left my folder. I left it on the...
You came back in, I would have left. I would have come back for it. Oh, no.
I came back in a second time after leaving and walked in front of the class because it was on the piano while she was starting. And I was just like, with my head down in shame, and grabbed the folder off the piano. No. I was like, sorry. And just like walked out. I was like, I look like a hot mess.
Oh, no.
I was so flustered. Thankfully, some person actually thought I was still okay and signed up for Hero.
Oh, good.
I was so embarrassed though. Oh my gosh.
That's like the worst thing to happen when you go in and you think you're going to present and they're like, well, actually we didn't know, but have at it. And you're just like, oh gosh, now I'm in their way. Yeah.
That's what it felt like. And then the fact that I walked back in twice.
Oh man.
I literally called my mom after. I was like, can I tell you a story and tell me it's not as bad as it sounds?
It's not bad, no.
And she was like,
a little embarrassing. It's okay though. We learn from these things. I definitely had it happen before. During rehearsal, I walked back in and I had to go back in for my keys to leave. And I was like, nope, I'm just going to wait. And so I just walked around and then I went back in.
I thought about it, but then I was like, I have something else I have to go to.
Yeah.
And I was like, and in that folder was like all the stuff for Hero class. And I was like, I need that folder.
Yeah. Oh.
So I was a bit embarrassed and I was like, well, that's something that makes sense for Darian to happen to her. I was like, sounds about right. But that just kind of ties me into this other idea I was talking about. Like, talking about with you earlier, this idea of like ambition in women. Mm-hmm. And I feel like what happened to me, I was thinking about it after, I was like, I still feel like there's a part of me, even after like working to get my doctorate and starting a nonprofit, I have like all these qualifications under my belt. And there's a part of me that still feels like I'm not qualified to be doing what I'm doing.
The imposter syndrome.
Right? And I'm like, I almost feel like I don't know how to put this into the right words. I almost feel wrong for being ambitious, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
Like I'm trying to do like all these things and then I go up there and my brain and my anxiety are like, you don't deserve to be doing this. What's going on? And then I'm like, everyone's staring at you. And then I'm trying to find like the right words. And I'm like, why is it so hard to find the confidence to be like, yes, I'm ambitious. I'm doing this. And I was like,
it is so hard. I struggle with that as well sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, you just got to fake it till you make it. And then like, it's just so hard to do that even though anyways, but.
It kind of tied into like Meghan Markle started this new podcast on Spotify and her first episode is actually about this. And I listened to it like the Sunday before, I can't even remember, but like it was right before school started. And she was like talking to Serena Williams and they're actually talking about like ambition in women and how trying to like work for what you want as a woman is different than for a man. Because they're talking about like in tennis when the ref or whatever was like calling balls that weren't out as out or whatever, and she's like trying to keep her cool, and they're like gave her so much heat for like being inappropriate, you know, and then a guy in the same situation is like going off and cussing and no one even cares.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, it's interesting how it ties in because I'm like trying to keep my cool because I'm like, if I seem flustered, I feel like it's like, oh well, she loses all credibility. That's what it feels like. And I think that's why I get nervous in those situations. I'm like, if I don't make this work right now, if I don't seem professional, I feel like I'm gonna lose credibility. I thought it was interesting how that tied in after listening to that podcast as well.
I think with the whole presentation thing that happened to you, I'm like positive that it was a lot better than you think, just because like what you talk about in the class and you're like, oh, I don't know how it went, but it went fine. It went great. You had things to say. I mean, it was just basically just like an introduction to Hero and like, you know, you started this. And so, I mean, I'm just trying to sound professional because inside I don't feel like a professional. Yeah.
I feel like a college student, which
I mean, we're in this safe haven of college. We haven't got that much outside experience.
And that again comes back to my insecurities. I'm like, I'm almost 25 and I'm still in school.
No, you're in doctoral school.
That's true.
Different.
That is true. But then when you break it down, I'm like, I am still in school.
I think it's because we kind of did the same thing where we go from undergrad to master's to doctorate, and we don't go outside into the real world that much, like here and there with gigs, you know, but it's not like, oh, we're a band director or we're like, you know, a middle school director, which is, I don't want to say I regret going from school to school, but a little part of me does.
Really?
Not regret, not like, you know, at least like at least a year or a semester like outside of this like safe haven that we have that is like school.
It definitely does feel like a safe haven at times.
Is, yeah.
But there are also moments where I'm like, I'm really glad I stayed, because if I left, I don't think I'd come back.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's good that you stayed then, for you can finish what you want to do and everything. But going outside of when you get a job after this and then your first actual job, I'm nervous for myself. Am I ready for this? Getting out of the safe haven. You're on the other side now. And that's kind of how you were when you were running the hero class. Like, you're on the other side.
Yeah, I just feel, again, unqualified.
Nah, you're qualified.
I was also embarrassed more than that one time.
Oh, no.
You ready?
Oh, God.
So the first one I'm going to tell you isn't that bad, but I felt really embarrassed because my allergies kind of like kicked in randomly, because I forgot to take my Flonase to like spray up my nose for allergies and whatnot, because I'm always in a state of trying not to cough or sneeze when I go outside in Florida.
Oh, no.
But I was like in my new class with the professor named Dr. Von Glahn, which hopefully we'll speak to her at some point.
Dr. Von Glahn is an incredible woman.
Oh, she seems amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to get her to agree to be on my doctoral committee.
Yeah, you should, and then agree to talk to her every hero podcast ever.
Yeah. I plan on asking her at some point. Dr. Von Glahn, if you're listening.
Please. What class is it though?
Music, sound, and the environment, which is like right up my alley, and I'm super excited about the class. But I was in there, and she was like, first day, she was like playing music like for us to like listen to that was like inspired by like bird sounds or something. And I'm sitting there and I sneeze, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, because everyone's quiet listening. And then I sneeze again.
Oh God.
And then I sneeze a third time, and I was like, I'm so sorry. But everyone just kept like turning back to look at me like, what is wrong with this girl who's sneezing like 3 or 4 times in a row? Oh, no. I was like, I keep interrupting the bird song.
Oh no, you're just part of the bird song. It's part of the music.
Yeah, birds sneeze all the time.
You mentioned that you saw an Instagram post?
Oh, yeah. So I saw this post. I follow this amazing ensemble called the Her Ensemble. They're in like London. They brought up this post from a Proms interview, because the BBC Proms was recent. The pianist Yuja Wang, beautiful pianist. I mean, fantastic. She's known for her really like nice dresses. Like she actually wears like short dresses and heels, and is a gorgeous woman. But I was kind of frustrated because they posted a clip from the interview, and like the first thing they talk about, like there's like this, this narrator or speaker talking to everyone watching on TV, like, pianist Yuja Wang is coming out soon, what do you think she's gonna wear? She's about to solo the BBC orchestra, huge event, and they're talking about what she's gonna wear.
Yeah.
And I was like, which, yes, she wears gorgeous dresses, but my first thought was like, oh my gosh, it's Yuja Wang. I'm like, I can't not wait to hear her play.
Yeah.
And in the interview after her performance, they're like, how do you choose your costumes? And then they ask her, what do you drink after a performance? And I was like, is anyone gonna ask her about the actual performance?
No, yeah, it's frustrating because like, classical music, and then we have people who normally like interview pop or like, newer kind of radio music or whatever you want to call it. And it's frustrating as like classical musicians to be asked that. And I understand what the interviewers, why they asked that, because she's known for those. Can some part of the interview be about, what did she play?
I don't remember because I didn't watch the performance.
Oh,
sadly.
No, we got to watch the performance.
Oh, I know. But I was just watching clips from the interview.
Yeah.
And I know she plays amazingly because I follow her. And she is a fantastic pianist.
Yeah.
But there's actually, like, I've seen clips from people being interviewed on, like, the red carpet at, like, award ceremonies.
Oh, true.
And they're like, what are you wearing? She's like, and I can't remember the name of the actress, but she was like, do you ask men these questions?
Yeah.
Or they, like, take the camera and, like, pan down her entire body to look at her dress. I think it was like Kate Blanchett. She was like, do you do that to all men? In her nice accent or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh girl, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of women get that.
That's a fair point. They're trying to like make someone more human, but also it's like taking away from the art and what they're really there for and why they're getting interviewed in the first place.
Compliment a performance. Talk about like, how did you go about practicing this and rehearsals, and then be like, and then the fun part, how'd you figure out what you're going to wear? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Because that is kind of the fun part as like a woman on stage. Like I love my recital dresses for the upcoming hero recital, because we're trying to like challenge like what is normal, and I'm trying to like change the idea of like what we wear in performances. So or
not concert black.
Yeah. So I'm actually planning everyone wearing white. I want us to seem like a canvas for like the immersive design that Bella is doing. So if you guys are interested, these are like little teases about what to expect. I just want to take away from like what we're wearing and like where it's not as important. You know,
absolutely.
I think it's time for our trivia.
All right, Darian.
Yes, bring it. Hit me with it.
Question number 1. Who was the first woman trumpet player in a major orchestra? Was it A, Allison?
Oh, great. I have multiple choices. This is
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to pull off the top of my head.
Exactly. That's why I'm helping you. Okay.
Thank you.
A, Allison Balsam.
I know that name.
B, Marie Spezial. C, Mary Bowden.
I want to say the first one.
Final answer?
Yeah.
No, it's B, Marie Spezial. She's coming to FSU. I know. Okay, question number 2. Which college became the 3rd largest women's college in the 1930s?
How was I supposed to know the answer?
Oh, you're supposed to know this answer.
The biggest, what, repeat it.
Which college became the 3rd largest women's college in the 1930s?
Is it FSU?
Go Noles.
Woo-hoo. I knew we were a women's college before, but I didn't know we were the 3rd largest.
Apparently.
A lot of people don't know that, but we used to be a women's college, Florida State. So I was like, represent. No one talks about it.
Oh, yeah. So in Ruby Diamond, you know that owl?
The what?
The owl in Ruby Diamond.
Owl?
There's an owl in Ruby Diamond. It's like a statue. It's up in the ceiling. When you look out into the audience, it's on the right.
I'll have to look for it.
You gotta look. You gotta look around, girl.
Obviously, I'm not paying attention to my surroundings.
It's like very Hogwarts in there because like the wall is like painted with like, an outdoor scene in it. It's very cute.
Well, I know there's like paintings.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was an owl.
There's an owl. I hope it's still there, but it's I believe, and if I'm wrong, I'll tell you in the next podcast. But it's like it was the mascot for the women's college. Question number 3: Name 3 common mutes trumpet players use.
There's 3 different types?
Nah, there's a lot, but I'm only letting you.
I thought there was only like 1.
Oh no!
Oh no! Ooh,
I made this too hard this week.
3 different names?
Yeah, mutes that we would use.
Standard.
Is that an answer?
Is that one of them? Like the standard? There's a standard mute. There's a super mute and
Oh,
a baby
brother.
mute. That's my guess.
Oh no! Oh,
I don't know what they're called.
I am so disappointed.
Violins only have 2.
Ew, look behind you.
Well, I see they got these like metal things, and you like will open and close it. I don't know what they're called though.
Open and close. We have
Like you move it, and you're like that. Wow, wow.
like
sound.
a little plunger, or we have like a wah wah mute or a Harmon mute.
See, I don't even recognize
bubble
these
mute?
names.
No.
I look behind you, and I see you guys using mutes, but I didn't know there were different types.
Yeah. Dang.
I don't play a brass instrument. I do always notice when the tuba brings a mute.
Oh yeah, that bad boy's big. Yeah.
See, violins, we only have the practice mute and the orchestral mute. Like the little, like it's like teeny tiny, barely an inch long, and then the practice mute, which no one really uses, but you can like if
Does
you
just
want.
make it softer?
Oh, it like dampens the violins like projection by a lot.
A lot? Oh wow. I'm gonna hear that.
I can show you after this if you want.
yeah.
Okay. What are the answers?
Oh, well, so I'll just give you 3 common ones. The straight mute is probably like, I could compare that to the standard one. So if I wanted to give you a point, I would compare it to the standard one. The cut mute.
Is there a baby one? Is it the baby?
We have a piccolo straight mute, and then there are other kind of mutes. And then we have the plunger, the wah wah mute, the Harmon mute. If you go to my recital this semester.
Of course I'm going to go to your recital.
Yes. I'll be using the wah wah mute. It goes wah wah wah.
That's what we just heard in the sad trombone.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was kind of right.
Yeah.
I just had different names for them.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now I have to get back at you. Okay. Here are my questions.
Let's go.
This one's more like general. Okay. Which famous conductor is having a movie made about his life on Netflix?
Leonard Bernstein.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. What was his name? Who's playing him? Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
Oh.
They like changed his face. He looks a lot like the
I'm
young
so
Leonard
excited.
Bernstein.
When is this coming out?
I don't remember, but I saw like pictures, and I was like, they really did make him look a lot like Leonard Bernstein.
Wow, I'm so excited. Okay, next question.
Oh, all right. What are the names of the violin strings?
Oh, brother. I'm going to think.
I'll give you a hint. There's 4.
Thank you. Oh, my God. Okay, so can I name them out of order?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for everyone that's going to, like, roast me,
Think about when we tune. I'll give you it right away.
think about what?
When we tune the orchestra.
I mean, there's A.
Yes, there you go.
And there's F.
No.
No, E I meant.
Yes.
And G.
Yes.
I got A. C.
No. Well, cello has a C string.
Did you mean violin or just
Violin. Okay, what's a fifth up from G? If we're tuned in fifths, you got G, A, and E. What are you missing?
D?
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
You did it. You just got to use music theory knowledge.
Music theory knowledge. You're right. Wow. I never thought about it like that. Okay.
Yeah,
oh, now I feel dumb.
Applause for music theory.
Let's go to the next question.
All right. What is the name of Felix Mendelssohn's sister?
Fanny.
Yeah.
Let's go. Fanny Mendelssohn.
You did better than me this week. But a little thing about Fanny.
Let's go.
I don't know if you play a lot of music by Mendelssohn, but
Not too much, no.
the strings do because we have his violin concerto. But he and his sister are both like little prodigies. I don't know if you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She wrote like 500 musical compositions.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't nearly play as much as hers. And one of her teachers even said that she played piano better than Felix did.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, she plays like a man, which is supposed to be a compliment.
Ugh, interesting. But she's a badass.
Oh, yeah, for
Love
sure.
her.
And what kind of pisses me off when I was like learning about her is she wrote music under like F. Mendelssohn, and then everyone just assumed it was Felix.
I know, yes.
And I was like, that would make me so mad if I like had a sibling and they're getting all the credit.
Yeah.
And actually, like Queen Victoria at the time, Felix was performing her songs as his own so she could like publish music. And she was like, oh, that one's my favorite. And it was hers.
Yeah.
I was like, go Queen, go.
We love her.
Oh yeah. So you won the trivia today.
Let's go. It's my turn now to press the button then. Okay, let's go. I want.
That's crickets.
Oh, I don't want that.
Applause.
No.
Sad trombone. Laugh.
Oh, no.
That one's called Scary.
I like it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So Angela won today. Not that we're keeping score, but I won the last couple times. All right. So before we say goodbye and see you next week, I just want to put out there that if we know we're not the only ones who have stories, about our lives and about being a woman in music. So if you want to reach out to us on Instagram or through our website, please do. You can email us at hero.musicians@gmail.com or visit us at www.her-omusic.com. And we would love to hear from you. And we also post small talk questions on our Instagram. And Angela does most of that. And we'd love to hear your answers because we will talk about the answers on the air. So please do. So that's all we have for you today. We are your hosts, Darian and Angela.
Hero Talk is associated with the nonprofit Hero.
Please visit our website to learn more and follow us on social media. Please like and subscribe and give us 5 stars because we want all the love.
5 stars, yes.
So thank you, and we will see you next week.